not he said it?
Both of them were saying it.
Okay, both were saying, did it cross racial lines?
No, it wasn't racial, but it went outside of the scope, and there were some other things, like you said, the obscene gesture. Russ came in at the end because, like I said, the fans somehow, Skip, and these, look, you know what these seats cost, Skip, sitting courtside. So this is, you know, well-to-do. They know right from wrong.
Yep.
But somehow, and it's been like this for a very long time, people think because they pay money, and we see this in restaurants, well, you think you could talk to your server any kind of way. You think because you pay an enormous amount of money and the athlete are there to entertain you, you can say, you can do whatever. And it's well within my right because I paid $5,000 or I paid an exorbitant amount of money for this ticket. You cannot, you should not. And I agree with LeBron. Skip, boo me. It's a badge of honor if I'm in a visiting arena and I get booed. But you cannot say certain things like what they be saying and think that it's okay. And what has transpired is that America has become more comfortable with saying things to people and then using the term snowflake. Oh, you soft. Nah, bruh. Give me my respect. That's all I ask. You don't have to respect me. And I'm a firm believer, Skip, and I'm going to turn it over to you. I'm a firm believer. You don't have to respect me, but I'd be damned if I let you disrespect me. Now, I'm glad LeBron handled it that way. Get them out of the arena. They crossed the line. Now, I want Indiana media to find these people and ask them, what did you say that got LeBron James so upset?
Yeah, I've never seen him quite that upset. I've seen him get angry with hecklers at courtside, and it usually benefits him because he just goes off on the scoreboard on them.
And that might have benefited because that might have been part of the 39-point performance that you saw last night.
Yeah, it was a little deep into overtime.
Yeah.
He was already there. He was already in charge of the game.
But there were things that, you know, had been said that, you know, you let that you let that pass give you, okay. You know, they're going to, but you know how it is, Skip. You get a few drinks, and then you start saying things that you're comfortable with because, you know, drunk, what is it? A drunk mouth speaks sober thoughts. So I'm going to leave it at that.
Well, I've told you before, the best I ever have seen LeBron is when he goes angry. And he got angry at Toronto. You thought it was Chris Bosh's girlfriend.
I think it was Chris
Then
Bosh's
there was
girlfriend
some front row heckler in Atlanta one time where he just went ballistic on the scoreboard on them.
Yes.
The more he got heckled, the more he scored.
Right.
To where I just loved his body language because he got that, like last night, he started doing his snarl, you know, that sideways snarl. And when he gets that mean mug going, you can be in some big trouble.
Right.
And then we saw it at Cleveland.
That was last year, Skip.
Last year,
that was an executive. Because he missed a shot and the guy laughed.
I guess he laughed or said something, and it was when there were no fans.
Right.
And so you could hear it because it was echoing in the arena.
Yes.
And he said, oh, okay, well, I got something for you, and I'm going to shut you up in the fourth quarter because I think it was at the end of the third.
It was in the third quarter. He missed the last second shot in the third quarter, Skip.
And then that was it. He just went crazy on the poor Cleveland Cavaliers. So we've seen that again and again. And then my favorite story is what David Blatt did to him last play of that turnaround game of that Chicago series that year when he called the last play for Kyrie and had LeBron inbounding the ball. Not over my dead body, said LeBron James. And he said, Kyrie will inbound to me. And you know the rest of the story. He didn't get all the way back to the three-point line, but it was a deep two from the corner to win the game. I love LeBron when he plays angry. And to your point, I hadn't thought about this. Maybe they were on him to the point that they were just lighting his fire the whole, I don't know, fourth quarter and overtime, for all I know. Okay? So I was surprised. I did appreciate the fact that instead of just getting into it with them himself, he just immediately went and he got Rodney Mott, the referee. And he just took him right over and said, those two have to be gone. And the ushers are like, really?
Well, Skip, you remember last year in Atlanta, he had two people removed from the game that was going on. And he said it was just between me and the guy.
Oh, but they had something personal, like a business relationship.
So they were going back and forth. And then,
that was when there were no fans.
There were no fans. And then the girlfriend who jumped in and she intervened and kept it going, like, you don't talk to my you-know-what like this here. And so they ended up having removed. But for me, Skip, look, and you know, Skip, you've been there. I mean, you've been to media, you front row, you press. You hear some of the things. You know that's not acceptable. And people think that's acceptable because, if somebody, and I hate, man, if I was making that kind of money, you could say, well, no, you can't. Because at the end of the day, that man's a human being. That man's got a family.
Yep.
And above all things else, he's a human first. Yes, he's an entertainer, a very highly paid, skilled entertainer. But the man is a human, and the man have feelings. And y'all need to consider that, because you wouldn't want anybody talking to your mom or your dad like that. You'd be ready to fight. And don't say, oh, no, you talked to me. No, you couldn't.
Okay. Did the insults have anything to do with the Isaiah Stewart incident?
No.
No? No? Okay. So it's hard for me to react. If you actually do know what was said, then it's hard for me to react if I don't know what got said.
The fact of the matter is, Skip, that when I have conversations between people, Skip, I don't feel comfortable. Like I said, if LeBron James wants to say this is what they said, if that young lady and that gentleman comes out and say this is what we said to LeBron, I feel, but this in a private conversation, nah.
Okay. But you think it was completely justified for him to have
1 trillion%.
1 trillion%. And obscene gestures, for me, can cross the line. I don't know exactly what the gesture was. I can guess it was the most common gesture. And if you do that, you're gone, to me.
And the thing, Skip, you know how LeBron is. LeBron, I mean, Draymond said something, and LeBron, like I said, LeBron's like, I'm a dad. You know, I'm a husband. I'm a man before all else. Proud black man. Before all this, before the basketball and the endorsements and the this and the that, I'm this. And if you try to diminish that or try to say something, nah, I can't. I'm not gonna let that slide. I'm not gonna let that slide.
I did think it was amusing that as she walked out, she did the pouty face, the extended lower lip, and did I was crying tears, right?
Yeah,
that was funny.
Yeah, I wish I would just ask her, say, well, what did you say to LeBron?
I would like to ask her that. I was a little surprised because I kept scouring this morning. I thought maybe somebody from Indianapolis, one of the newspaper people or somebody from the media, might have tried to run after them and say, what did you say?
Right. Well, I just saying that there's somebody that was sitting right next to her, but I don't know. I don't want to put that out there about what someone said. But like I said, LeBron, for him, when he became that emphatic, I was like, I didn't know what they said, but once he became that emphatic, and I made a few calls. Yeah.
Okay. Well, he trended all night. Unfortunately, he was being called La Snitch, right, on Twitter.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, okay.
But,
well, whatever you say, if you trust your information, sometimes you can't trust that information completely when it comes from where I think I know it came from.
Nah, not this here.
Yeah. Okay.
Skip, you know I ain't never lied. You know when I come to you, Skip Bailey, you know I come.
Yeah, but there are certain people you got to be careful with. Okay. Next question.
All right, let's talk some football.